Um, Dust is the story of the J.W. Roberts Armley asbestos factory. It is also the story of June Hancock, who was a woman who spent her childhood in Armley. Her mother died of mesothelioma, the cancer caused by asbestos, despite having never worked in the factory. And June herself was then diagnosed with the cancer, which she must have contracted from having been exposed to asbestos as a child in Armley. And the play, through the words of the community of Armley and through the trial transcripts, tells that story of how she took on this company and won a landmark case.
Okay, well, we're about to do our dress rehearsal. The purpose of this is to give them a final run through with all the technical props, costumes and any other bits they may have, and to have a final practice before we perform it in front of a full audience.
Like fine cotton wool or confetti.
Flaky, whitish coloured stuff, like candy floss, had a definite texture to it. It was fluffy and collected together into sort of cubular ringlets.
A mixture of blue and white stuff, like fibres from a cotton mill, like hair. Similar to K-pop filling, like cotton wool, laying all over, thick and piled high.
Like fleecy congealed fibre, it rolled in the wind.
Pale, bluey grey colour.
Scruffy in appearance. It was lucky.
You could walk past and look at the windows. There was always covered in fluff.
It was as if the fluff was trying to get out.
I remember the first things you said to me, which became the vacations.
There's nothing you can tell me about this Athena. My mum died from it. I was shocked because I'm in the Salisbury View. The general store and sold practically anything. After Mum died, I didn't think anything more could happen. I'd always followed stories in the paper about Armley and asbestos, but I never thought it was quite happening.
Nana always looked very young, like Mum did. Always well dressed, always had dogs, like Mum.
About 18 months ago, I became tired and listless. I consulted my GP, but couldn't really do anything. Eventually, I was referred to Killingbeck Hospital. The consultant there told me I have mesothelioma and that it's only known cause asbestos. Then he asked me if I was from Armley. Most of the time I was in tears. Then one day I got really angry and I thought, what can I do about this? For my mum and for myself.
She wasn't just angry about herself, but about her own mother and any others in the same situation as her. My mother used to dust the house every day. I used to think she was a fanatic. She washed our windows once a fortnight and the windowsills once a week, and swept, scrubbed and spilled outside the front of the house. She often used to say she was fed up with it.
My wife used to dust the furniture every day. She had to in order to keep the dust down.
When we came downstairs in the morning, we could find my mates in the dust. Mum decided to buy, not for compensation, only justice. It was described in the press as a David in Goliath battle.
We thought we had a good case.
We weren't exactly confident though. Mum was on legal aid. We were scared they'd settle.
No one had ever won a case of this sort against an asbestos company. But she didn't want to settle.
She wanted a judgment.
She didn't miss a single day of the trial.
She wore the same red jacket every day, so she'd stand out. They'd know who she was.
Whether we win or lose, the money is absolutely unimportant. The fact that we've got them to court is what matters. They've had to stand there and be answerable for what they've done.
J.W. Roberts continued as an integrated member of that group. T&M liked to style itself the Asbestos Giants. Mrs. Hancock moved to Armley in 1936. The J.W. Roberts factory closed in 1959. We say that over this period, J.W. Roberts, as part of T&M, pumped out into the surrounding streets, houses, and onto the nearby school and its playground a cloud of asbestos dust which they knew to be dangerous and pernicious.
The evil effects of asbestos dust have attracted my attention. Microscopic examination of this mineral dust clearly revealed the sharp, glass-like, jagged nature of the particles, and where they are allowed to rise and remain suspended in the air of a room in any quantity, the effects are found to be injurious, as might be expected. This thesis was referred to at an inquest which Roberts attended in 1928, so there is no doubt they were aware of his information. In the UK, the 1931 Asbestos Industry Asbestosis Scheme came into force at the beginning of June 1931. This stated the necessity of dust prevention. Therefore, dust is dangerous.
I left the factory because I got the gist it was an unhealthy place to work. There were people there with tuberculosis, tightened chests, rounded shoulders. The appearances had been very hunched. They'd be coughing to the stage of spitting blood. Usually they were transferred to do easy work in the time office, where the workers clocked in. Everyone knew this meant they were ill, and they never stayed long in the time office.
That time between deaths from asbestosis and lung cancer, the suppression by TNF of material.
Whether we win or lose, whether we win or lose the money, is absolutely unimportant.
Said June.
I'd like to win, of course, but I've never been money-orientated in my life. The fact that we have got
I'd like to win, of course, but I've never been money-orientated in my life. The fact that we have got them to court is what matters. They've had to stand there and be answerable for what they've done.
Although the defendants could not have known that Mrs. Hancock would necessarily contract mesothelioma, this does not matter. They knew that the risk was there. Had suitable measures been adopted, the emission of asbestos dust could have been reduced by 85%. Mrs. Hancock a duty of care, and they breached that duty by failing to take reasonable, practicable steps to reduce or prevent the inhalation of emitted asbestos dust. I find that she has proven duty, breach and resulting injury and is entitled to judgment against the defendants for the agreed sum of £65,000.
TNN believes that the judgment was wrong to find TNN liable in this case.